Hi, it's Eileen Head, the Relationship Whisperer. Thanks so much for joining me today, where I'm going to be giving you some insights on understanding the perfecter personality. If you watched yesterday's video, I asked the question, can COVID-19 break or be a gift to your relationship? And the answer is, well, it certainly could break it based on the skyrocketing divorce rates in China. And it can also be a gift of time that we have now to reassess our lives, be more positive and grateful for what we have, and make more of an effort to understand each other. Create a new future based on what you now know is most important to you. In these times of great stress, it's important that we come together to support and love each other. I gave you some insights on yesterday's video. The challenge in all relationships is making sense of and understanding our personality differences. We are looking for validation and acceptance of who we are. In order to do that for ourselves and others, we must understand our own wiring and those we are in relationship with. Maybe one of you is a Honda, one of you is a Hummer. You can do many of the same things, but you have different motors. In all the years of researching and looking for answers to relationship mysteries, I have never found anything that is so specific to personality patterns and that is based on scientifically researched data as the Enneagram. For those of you who've never heard of the Enneagram, you're probably going, the Ennea what? Or those of you who've heard of it go, oh, the Enneagram, I love it. And the reason they love it is that it's so specific. The Enneagram has been around since the 1700s. There's research on, our patterns, our human behavior since then. And it gives us a lot of insight into what makes us tick, what makes others tick. And when you can figure that out, you can really connect and create lasting relationships. You can figure out how to find lasting love, resolve conflicts, and become the person you're meant to be. Personality is formed by about the age of 7 when you look out on your family of origin and you decide that you need to be a certain way in order to get the most love and attention. You form that belief. The belief forms the patterns become an identity, and the identity becomes a personality. And the really great thing about the Enneagram is it helps us break out of that restricted box that we live from with those unconscious beliefs. And so it's a really cool modality. It gives you very specific information, and it gives you this path of development, which is unique about it. What's not working in my relationship? Why is it not working? Oh, it's these patterns. I can replace them exactly. For that personality, I can replace them and work on growing these patterns. There are many videos right now, some of them very funny, about the 9 personalities in quarantine. But I feel it's more important to give you some insights of, especially when there's so much pressure and fear right now, is to give you some insights and maybe some ideas of how to support your partner. And if you are a perfecter, how you can start letting go of the pressures for yourself. It is really important, as I go through these 9 days of the 9 personalities, that we do this with no judgment, that we have compassion for ourselves and others, so that we can all continue to grow, to learn, and expand our capacity to accept and to love. What I want you to know today is that perfecters are so hard on themselves. So perfecters, if you're listening to this, know this is not about judgment. It is about helping other people to understand you and to help you understand yourself. So perfecters have always had very high standards of cleanliness. And with this virus, they will be upping those standards. Cleaning, making sure that everyone follows the rules to the utmost degree. Because you see, under that is a fear. They might miss a germ. They might be blamed, or they will blame themselves, feeling it was because they weren't clean enough, that their family got the germ, that someone might get sick, that the responsibility is all on them. And so that's why they're hyper vigilant on watching everything that comes in the house. Now, while other personalities are also really focused on cleaning, the perfectors will have a higher, sorry, I'm getting someone's messaging me at the same time, which I can't shut off. There is a fear that they might miss this germ. The responsibility is all on them. Let me just get rid of this here. Sorry. The responsibility is all on them. And other personalities are also following the rules, they're cleaning. But with the perfectors, there's a higher intensity to it. There's a tension around it. So if you are in relationship with a perfector, reassure them. Thank you so much for your attention to cleanliness. I know that our house is as germ-free as possible. Come sit down, have a movie, let's watch a movie, or let's go out and let's look at something fun. That will relieve the pressure for them. As long as they know that you appreciate them for their attention to detail and wanting to make everything perfect, to create a perfect world, that helps them to feel accepted, because we all have our quirks. Believe me, I'm going through all 9 personalities, and I'll share with you some of mine and all of the 9 personalities. Something else to understand is that a natural expression for the perfector is anger, and it might come up with regard to the rules, and they will take the strictest view of the rules. If everyone would just stay home and not go out at all, we could get through this faster. Perfectors set up rules to create that perfect world, and it's difficult for them to understand, why wouldn't everyone just follow the rules? Not just now, but in their everyday lives as well. See, the patterns of these rules for the perfector were created in that childhood. Maybe there was pressure on them to always be good, to do the right thing, and to be the perfect child, to not cause any problems. That pattern gets set up, it becomes an unconscious pattern. And so when those patterns of set up or following the rules, then the way they can release pressure is, well, I've followed the rules, therefore I'm doing it the right way. And there becomes a right way and a wrong way. In my work with perfectors, as they begin to work on their patterns and growth and development, it is with great relief to them that they start letting go of those patterns, of the structure, of the rigidness. It takes a mental picture to start doing this. So I encourage them to do things like, if there's a picture that they walk past every day, make it crooked. Walk past it every day, look at it being crooked, work on being okay with it being crooked. And then they start to make a game of it, and it starts to be fun. They start to do other things like, oh, there's dust bunnies under my bed, but I'm not going to do anything about those. Not right now, anyway. And that's how we all begin to grow our personality. Practice on accepting what's good enough. This is good enough. I've done everything I can. It's good enough. So here's a few things for the perfector. There are no mistakes. There are only mistakes. And without mistakes, we would not gain the experience in life to grow. That's a big one. I worked in the film production industry, and we just kept doing retakes until we got it like we wanted it. Breath work. For every personality type, when you are triggered and you start to feel yourself amping up, breathe. Take a couple deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and maybe even in taking that breath and pushing it down through your feet. That will reground you. Maybe you'll have a mantra. This is good enough. I've done my best. This is good enough. And the serenity prayer really does apply to all of us, and especially in this time, the serenity prayer is really important for all of us and for the perfector, for the growth. And so it was written by American theologian Reinhold Niebuhr. And the serenity prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you would like to go deeper into your personality and learn how to, how to be a good partner, how to receive love, I have a program online that's called Get Love the Way You Need. It's 2.5 hours of video of each personality type. You have all that time for growth now, right? But it's in really short little videos, so you can watch one and then watch another. It's ideal if your partner also has their personality Get Love the Way They Need profile, and you work through there's 13 different steps, and you work through those together. I'll put that link down. It took me 3 years to research, script, shoot, edit, produce this program. It's not perfect. Perfectors, you'll be going, I see stuff. But you know what? The information is really valuable. So I'll put that link in. Join me tomorrow at 12 noon, and I'm going to be sharing with you about the two supporters. And if you have any questions at all, let me know, questions you want me to answer. I'll go back and answer questions about perfectors, or knowing that I'm going to be asking about the two supporters, you might send something to me ahead of time about, well, what do I do in this situation? I also have a group called Answering Relationship Mysteries due to personality differences. I would love it if you would shoot some questions for me in that group as well. So thanks for joining me. I hope that's given you some insights and some understanding and compassion for the perfectors and for the perfectors in all of us, because we do have all 9 personalities in us. May we remember, God, give us the courage. Let me just get this right again. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change in the present moment where we're at, the courage to change the things I can, maybe to be less judgmental of other people out there, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep well. Many blessings. Eileen Head, the Relationship Whisperer.